Hi guys, this is Kevin speaking here. So today I'm really in a kind of depressed and helpless kind of mood here. I just feel like making this video and share my feelings with you guys out there. So I think there are so many videos out there about how difficult is it for foreigners to make friends here in Japan. Of course, different people have different comments, but for me, I think the conclusion after being here for about 6 months is I think Japanese people are, in general, are really polite, but they're really very antisocial human beings. They don't really understand how to be friendly to people. So I've been here before when I was 17 for half a year, but back in the day it wasn't so bad like today. It was relatively much better because we're talking about the pre-social media days, we're talking about pre-smartphone days, right? People tend to be more open to social. They tend to be more friendlier, I think. Most people I met here say Osaka is much better than Tokyo in the sense. So what they tell me was Osaka people are much more friendlier and open-minded. They have more sense of humor, more easygoing than Tokyo people. Almost every single Japanese people I met here have told me this. Since I never stayed in Osaka for long, so I can't really tell. So I'm really open to, experiencing it myself if I got the chance in the future. So I'm here about 6 months already. As a foreigner, of course, when you're new to a city, I think the most important thing is, of course, some people will just stick to their own and don't really care about the local culture and the local people, they just care about shopping, food, that's all. But I still believe the most important thing is to try to be immersed in the local culture, meet as many local friends as you can, and if possible, learn the local language. Avoid touristy areas and try to just immerse more into, with the locals. This is, I think, very important for being in a foreign country, right? But in this respect, I've tried so many different things. I've tried so hard, and right now I kind of feel totally disappointed and distressed and helpless. Of course, I think this statement, impossible to make new friends in Tokyo, will make no sense to local people if these people never leave the country before, or if they don't have any foreign friends at all. For their whole life, they've only been in Japan and only have Japanese friends, then it will make no sense to them. If there's no comparison, there's no point, right? For example, I remember when I was in Scotland, Glasgow, right? People were so nice there. There was one time I was getting groceries in the supermarket, and there was one woman, and she got maybe 6 or 7 items. I just got like a bar of chocolate. So I was queuing behind her, right? At the very beginning, I spotted that she already let someone go before her for paying at the cashier, because that person has less items than this kind lady I'm talking about here. And then this kind lady saw me with only 1 item, and she wanted to, for the second time, allow me to go past her, to go before her to the cashier. There was only 1 cashier, obviously. So she was so kind. So basically she let 2 strangers to go before her to pay at the cash register. She was trying to be kind. I still remember I made a jokey remark to her. I said, "You could have been here all day doing this." Yeah. And she was like, "Yeah, I know." Another example was I was just walking around the mall, and there were young people, just chilling, drinking beer and stuff, say hi to me. And we had a short friendly chat, which was so cool. And then 5 minutes later, in the same mall, we kind of like caught eyes again, and we kind of like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" It was so cool. Being in an environment like this, you can't help but have this feeling of you kind of belong to that city. You kind of belong to that place. Even though of course you don't, but it just makes you feel immersed and comfortable. And this even wasn't the pre-social media. I'm talking about 3 years ago, 3 years ago, right? Also, I still remember when I was in the US, there was one time I was lining up to get donuts. This happens all the time. So random friendly people in the queue in front of me just start chatting up. Hey, how's it going? Where are you from? Do you come here often? You know, this happens quite a lot. It was so nice to have random conversations with people out there on the streets. And the thing I really love about interacting with these people I just mentioned is in the conversation we had, even though how casual it was, no matter how spontaneous it was, they actually do ask you questions. They will ask something like, oh, what are you doing here? Why are you coming here? How is it going in your country? Such and such. So basic, interaction, like, which makes the conversation more fun and healthy, I think. But people here in Japan, even though if you get to strike a conversation with people, they rarely ask about your things. They don't really want to know much about you. They're not curious about you. If I start asking something about them, they will basically, just like a Q&A, they will answer, and then they will never go like, how about you? They never go like that. They don't ask questions. They don't really ask why. You know what I mean? So this is a totally lack of curiosity. Indifference. So my problem is I never had any luck meeting new friends on the social media, to be honest. So the only way for me to meet new friends was random encounters on the street, whether it's in a bar or a concert or even in a cafe. So seeing all this social scene fading away is really painful for me because it has been so hard to make friends here, almost impossible to make friends here. So guys, please leave a comment. If you got any advice or comments, please leave a comment in the comment section. I really want to know what you think and what your advice is. What can I do to make my life here in Japan better? Because for me, without people to share what I love, without people around me to share the things I encounter every day here, it's such a pity. So as a result, I tried so many things attempting to improve my social situation right here in Japan. I got to do something, right? Rather than just waiting to die, right? Very, very first advice you get from other people usually is be more proactive, right? Invite people out for a drink, call them first, message them first. Be the first one to do that. I know that. Taking the initial step is not that difficult, to be honest. But what happens afterwards is the thing that really needs to be worried about. I've tried all that, but so far it didn't really work out at all. My conclusion so far, when the people in this environment are half dead, they are half dead no matter what you do. But anyway, I've tried so many things. Let me give you an example, right? So for example, I've been to this dance class. So the first second I entered the classroom, I felt this very tense and very tight situation among the classmates. They don't really talk to each other at all. And afterwards, I learned out that the students in that class had been together for more than a year or even longer. For me, it looks like they don't even know each other. I mean, you have been spending time for more than a year or two, and you still look like totally strangers among each other. This is so weird. when they catch you making eye contact with them, they will just avoid right away, look away. This is so strange. People sharing the same passion, dancing in this situation, comes together. Shouldn't you feel more open-minded because people of the same passion or hobby come together? You should have a hell of ideas or things to share with your peers during the lesson. Don't you think so? This is so weird and unnatural. And I also went to Japanese drum classes. They've been classmates for years and years already. But still, during the class, before the class, after the class, they don't really chat at all. When the class finishes, they just leave, which is so strange for me. Impossible to make connections, man. I tried to talk, but the conversation basically ends after the answer has been delivered to my question. Again, they're never curious enough to ask you any question. Shouldn't you be curious to know a fucking foreigner like me coming to your country? What the hell am I doing here? Shouldn't you be little bit curious? No, the answer is no. Also, I have been a live concert, like a small live concert, and I met a guy who's got cigarette burns all over his hand, and I saw him enjoying the music so much. A Japanese guy, young guy, and I see him bumping his body, like enjoying the music so bad. So I just cannot help but just to strike a conversation with him. I said, "Hey, are you okay? What happened?" And we talked. I showed my love. I showed my care to him. And afterwards, I found out he used to be mentally ill, so he was like kind of like self-destructive. But now he's fine. So we shared a lot of things. He even told me that he really wanted to practice English with foreigners. So here I am, right? So afterwards, I realized, hey, why don't I just ask him his social media contact? So afterwards, he scanned my QR code. That was the Line app, right? And then I thought he added me, but he never sent me a message afterwards. Never. Because when someone added you online, but if they don't send you an initial message, there will be no way you can add them as your friend. That's how Line works. It wasn't that I really want to be his friend, but I was like, hey, I showed you care and love as a stranger. And this random encounter was meant to be it's so cool. I wouldn't want to use the word romantic because this is not, it's a man and woman thing, but it's so beautiful, I want to say. But you don't get it. So again, there were so many cases that I can tell you. There's much, much more cases I can share, but I don't want to that show that no matter how I tried, the results were, nothing. Back in the day, the pre-social media years, it was much, much easier. New friends come naturally. It just come naturally. There were so many interesting experiences with different people. And I still remember back in the day, if you were a shy person, because shy people, over shy people, and nerdy people have no place in this society. They will never have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. They are never cool people back in the day. So now you see everywhere around me are shy, super shy people. Too shy people were seen as losers back in the day. So that's why for me, the whole thing is about you got to learn how to become a more, engaging person to be able to communicate with any person in the crowd, to be able to be comfortable among unfamiliar places, to learn to become a more confident person. Otherwise, you end up being a loser forever in the society. And today, I still think so. Because to be shy is no problem. Shy is fine, but over shy, like too way fucking shy is different thing. When you are so way fucking shy that you almost like to a point that you refuse interesting things, you refuse rare, beautiful things that happens to you. You refuse to engage in the situations or to engage with people that are so rare to come by. You refuse humanity. And I'm against that, to be honest. That means you don't want to do anything. That means you're lazy. That means you're anti-human. I guess this whole thing is infectious. Even the foreigners here in Tokyo are so cold. They're so different than the foreigners I met in their home country. The foreigners in their home country are so different than the ones here in Japan, to be honest. Okay? Sorry if I offended you, but it's true. So I had this experience. I was visiting this cat cafe. So you go to this cafe, you order your meal or drinks, and you can also play with lots of stray cats. And I saw one European girl playing with the cats using like a cat stick. So at one point I saw like there was a cat stick, the toy, on the floor. So she was sitting on the floor fondling the cats, right? So I was like, hey, can I use this cat stick to play with the cats? So it was on the floor, right? I picked it up and said, can I use this? She said, no, it's mine. The cat stick is mine. You cannot use it. What the fuck? I was thinking like, I never had this sort of experience in my whole life. 100% of the time. No problem. Have fun. Use it. Right? As long as I don't break the fucking stick. What's the problem with letting other people like borrow it for like a few minutes to have some fun, right? So strange. Totally unbelievable. Never had this kind of cold encounter in my whole life, especially from foreigners. For the whole time, my whole lifetime, foreigners are much more friendlier than Asians in general. But now I don't think so anymore. So I guess this whole thing is infectious, you know, like COVID, I guess. So from the start of this video, I guess my whole point is trying to say that being friendly to people or being social to people is what this world needs, especially in a so fucking cold world we're in today. I see that as natural human nature. That's my point, I guess. But me now, being in Japan now, it feels like I'm this really unnatural element here in the city I am in this environment I'm in. Because they are the normalized. They are the normal. They are the ones that are natural. So I feel like every day I'm contributing nothing to myself and to the surrounding I'm in. That's how I feel, honestly. And also, they never invite you out to for a drink or for a meal. Even with the people that I already know here, like my classmates, they never, I can guarantee you, if this was another place, if this was another time, maybe back pre-TikTok days, trust me, we're already like hanging out, engaging in, you know, social activities, just like normal friends. But people here, have you guys realized, they never invite you out for a drink or for a meal. Let's say if they know I'm into music, 2 days from now there's a cool concert coming up, they will not invite me to join or to go to the concert. But if this was back in the day or at a different place, I'm sure this will happen so naturally. Let me give you an example. About a month ago, I was wearing this t-shirt, Aphex Twin t-shirt. So it was a famous, Aphex Twin is a famous electronic musician, right? So there was a guy on the street, American guy, saw me wearing a t-shirt and came up to me and started giving me compliments. like how cool Aphex Twin's music was. So we had this friendly chat on the street for maybe 5 minutes or so, and then we went out a live show together, had fun. So my point is, if it was Japanese, it would never happen. This will only happen to people from a foreign country. So back in the day, all you have to do is just, if you're an interesting person, chances for meeting new people are so easy. 15 years ago when I was in Kyoto, I had 2 or 3 experiences of meeting random people on the street and end up going to karaoke together, or end up going drinking in bars together. No matter man or woman. Just random encounters on the street, man. Those were the pre-social media days. So what's funny is sometimes I read the news and there are reports about a so-called survey. 40%, 50% of Japanese people feel lonely. So if you feel lonely, why don't you do something? Why don't you do something? Their usual excuse is, well, Japanese people are shy, and then they are terrible at expressing their own feelings and emotions. Well, if you know the problem, why don't you do something to change it? Is that what you want to do? You want to stay lonely for the rest of your life? Miss out all the beautiful encounters with different interesting people. Interesting and remarkable life experience come from what? These experiences come from active discovery, and discovering needs courage. If you are over shy, it goes against the concept of being adventurous or being curious. Well, you see how social media is doing to people, how it's poisoning our human social brains, right? All you see are people sharing their feelings on Instagram, but when you see them in person, they don't give a shit. All they know is to do that in the virtual online world. Totally disregard real-time face-to-face interactions. So please leave a comment at the comment section. I really want to listen to your advice. I really want you to share with me your experiences of being a foreigner in Tokyo. I'm at the dead end right now. I've tried everything. So I really need to hear from you guys. I mean, who knows? Maybe we could become friends, right? So I'm looking forward to your comments. I'm sure lots of people out there encountering the same experience as I do. I don't know whether is it because of the music or the films or the books or the articles I read from Guardian, which inspired me to be a warm and passionate kind of human being, makes me different than most of the crowd around me. So I always felt like being warm to people around me, no matter strangers or people I know, is the most important thing in my life. I'm starting to regret now. I can feel the cons, I can feel the disadvantages right now very clearly. It's creating this fine line between me and rest of the crowd, the cold crowd. I feel like as I said, an outsider in this environment, a unnatural element contributing nothing to myself and the environment I'm in right now. I really, really feel so lonely right here. There have been so many studies being kind to each other or being kind to strangers even. Does a lot of good to our sense of well-being. It brings us joy, it brings us hope, it brings us so much love as well. And it inspires us to become a better human. But not being able to do this, I feel really, really bad. I feel really, really disappointed, the least to say. It seems like I'm the only one who wants to be nice. It seems like I'm the only one that seems to care about all this. The people nowadays are so robot. Even you take the initial step and try to be nice and try to give them care and love, they don't even want to accept it anymore. They don't even feel it. And that's what really makes me depressed. Okay guys, so it looks like I'm finished ranting. Again, please leave a message, leave a comment. I'm looking forward to hear from you soon. And I wish you a happy life. Peace.